Hello beautiful people, I'm Gift God's Time by name, and if you're new to this channel, you're welcome. To all my existing subscribers, thank you for your support. So today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to draft a basic bodice pattern for a 1-year-old. Kindly stay tuned. Firstly, I'm going to fold my pattern paper into two, as you can see from the video. Then next, I'm going to be drawing my starting line. I'll go ahead to insert the shoulder measurement, which is the shoulder divided by 2, which is 8.5 divided by 2, that is 4¼ and then I'm going to be going down by ½ inch because this is for a child. This ½ inch is for the shoulder slant. I'm going to be taking the neck width and I'll be using 2½ for a 1-year-old, that is 12 months old. So I'll connect that ½ inch I took earlier to that 2½ inch point with a slant rule. For the neck depth, I'm going to be coming downwards by 2 inches. So that's what I'm doing, and I'll connect it to that 2½ inches I took earlier to have a U shape or a round neckline. For the armhole length, I'm going to be using 4¼ for the length. So I'll be starting it from that ½ inch downwards I took, as you can see from the video, and I'll be drawing a straight through. What I'm doing now is to make sure that I'm still maintaining my shoulder measurement so that they align properly, so that the line is straight, as you can see. So I'll connect it, and then next I'm going to determine the chest circumference. So for kids for 1 year, you can either use 19 to 21 depending on how big they are. So these 19 inches to 21 for their chest fits perfectly. If they are very chubby, you use 21. If they are just on the average, you use 19. I'll be using 20 inches for mine. So 20 inches divided by 4 because this is the front bodice. So next I'm going to be taking the half cut, that is from the shoulder to the waist, which is 7.5 inches. And both the chest and the waist region, they are the same in measurement. So I'm still going to use the same 20 inches which I used for that of the chest. So I'm just going to connect it, as you can see from the video. Next, I'm going to take the full length, and the full length for this blouse is 12 inches. To get the measurements for the full length, I'll be using the hip measurement divided by 4. The hip measurement is 21 divided by 4, which is 5.5. So next, I'm going to connect all 3 lines together. Now for the armhole curve, I'm going to get the midpoint of that 4¼ we took earlier, and I'm going to go inward by, let's say, 1/4, not up to half, because this is for a child. And I'm going to connect all lines using my curve rule to give me that armhole curve. So I just go ahead to label it. This is the full length, the waist, and that is the chest line. So our basic bodice pattern for the front part is ready. You don't need that for kids. So I'll go ahead to cut it. But if they are chubby, yes, you can add that and close it on the pattern paper itself. You don't need to sew it on the fabric. It looks awkward to me. So I don't know about you, but kids clothes without that, it's beautiful. The outcome looks beautiful. If you need to put that, try and do an invisible dart, meaning you close the dart on the pattern. That if they are chubby. So this is a full scale of the front bodice, which you can alter to get different outfits, a ball dress or an A-line dress. So we'll proceed to the back pattern. So go ahead to fold our pattern into two, and I'll draw my starting line. Since this pattern is for the back, I'm going to be taking 1 inch for my zip allowance. So I'm going to connect 1 inch all the way down, and this will serve as my zip allowance. Next, I'll be taking my shoulder measurements, and I'll be starting from that zip line. So I'm not going to be starting from the extreme edge. No, I'll be starting from that zip line. So I'll take my shoulder measurements, divide by 2, and I'll also take my neck width, which is 2.5, the same width I took for the front. And the depth, I'll be using 1 inch because this is for the back. So I'm going to connect it using my curve rule to give me a U-shape or a round neckline, and then I will also extend it to the zip part, as you can see from the video. Next, I'll be taking my 1/2 inch downwards for the shoulder slant, and then I'm going to connect the lines, as you can see from the video. And next, I'll be taking my armhole length, which I did for the front. I'm still going to repeat the same thing, the same procedure. So everything will be the same. The difference between the front bodice and the back bodice is the zip and the neckline. So I'm going to be taking my chest measurements. That is, I'll be starting after the zip allowance which I gave. I'm not starting from the edge. It is after that 1 inch zip allowance I took, because if you start from the edge, it will alter your measurement. So I've gone ahead to take the 5 inches, and then next I'm going to be taking my shoulder to my waist, which is 7.5, and also my shoulder to the full length, which is 12 inches, and then I'll be connecting all horizontal lines. Next, I'll be imputing the waist measurements, which is 5 inches, and the hip measurement, which is 5.5 inches. So I'll be connecting all 3 lines together. Lastly, I'm going to take the midpoint of the armhole. If you could remember, I went inward for that of the front, but I won't be doing that for the back. This is how I'm going to connect it. So we'll proceed to cut it out, and our back pattern is ready. So the basic pattern for a 1-year-old, it is not hard to achieve. In fact, for kids, it is not hard to achieve. And then you don't need that, but if you insist you need that, maybe for a 8-year-old, 9-year-old, please add an invisible dart so that it doesn't look awkward. So this is it. I'm going to label it. This is the center back, this pattern is for the back, and this is for the front. So I'm labeling it center front, that is CF. So I'm just going to align them together, and that is, you'll see the beauty. So I'm going to close the zip part, and you see it's aligned properly. If my videos have been helpful to you, kindly subscribe to my channel if you have not yet, and do like this video. Thank you. See you in my next tutorial.